to open up right here. Has anyone seen anything in the news this week about a little thing called Taco Tuesday? Yeah? Okay. Well, we want to make it real clear. You are at the home of Taco Tuesday since 1989, okay? And we intend to keep on. It has been a very interesting week. For those of you who don't know, Taco Bell came out and said they want to liberate America from our ownership of Mark Taco Tuesday. We want to liberate America for flavorful and bold tacos. And so that has been the big focus this week. Jim, if you've seen any of the news coverage, has been interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, all of the major publications. And we love this because you're all marketers in this room. You know, the number one rule of marketing is when you're number one, you don't talk about number two. Well, we'd like to thank Taco Bell for reminding everyone that the right place to celebrate Taco Tuesday is indeed at Taco John's. And so we've had a big week. You'll hear more about that as the day progresses. This is our new restaurant design. This was developed in 2019. It coincides with our new logo, bigger, bolder, better. The ERs are very important in that tagline, right? We are bigger, we serve the portions that you might find at our competitors, bolder, more bolder flavor profile, and better. We take a quality high road relative to Taco Bell. Not to disparage my competitor, but let's face it, the data is very clear that they have lower quality ratings, and our brand has higher quality ratings. That is the sole purpose of the marketing function at Taco John's, is to continue to reinforce that Taco John's is better quality than anyone else out there. So bigger, better, bolder is indeed the tagline. But it's also a sign of how the brand is transforming to be a modern, contemporary, and relevant brand. We were founded in 1969, over 50 years ago, and for many of you who run brands that have been around for some time, making that brand contemporary and relevant is job one. And so this is a little video about how we are doing just that.
There are two kinds of people in this world. Those who love Taco John's and those who don't know yet. So it's time to shout it from the mountaintops, loud enough for the people all the way in the back to hear. It's time to be louder, prouder, bigger, bolder, and better. When you get to Taco John's, you have arrived at your bigger, bolder, better destination, a place where amazing deals and amazing food go hand in hand. Mission a high five, granted.
Customers, they come in to really see me.
I've definitely even made a few friends in the drive-thru. This is how much I love Taco Bell.
Our menu isn't just something to fill your gut. It's a way to fill your spirit, a way to transform your routine, a way to help you not just eat, but live. Bigger, bolder, and better.
I bet people during rush hour would be a lot happier if they had breakfast here at Taco John's.
There's too many fried chicken sandwiches out there. Have you tried a fried chicken taco? Good news, Mom. We're cooking dinner tonight. It's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday!
It's that exciting choice, the innovative choice, the bigger, bolder, better choice. And this is day one. The future is right now, and right here for the taking. And fortune favors the bigger, bolder, and better.
There you go. So that's yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that. You're getting a great taste about how we're reinventing the brand. You're going to hear a lot more from our folks today on various panels. You hear about what we're doing from the menu perspective, from a digital perspective, from a brand perspective. So we're happy to tell that story. But as I said, I'd like to share a little bit of some of the thoughts that I think our industry is working on as we think about the future of quick serve restaurants. Just one data slide, just to illustrate, you know, the wonderful thing about the quick serve restaurant industry is how resilient it is. So this is traffic growth going all the way back to 1977. Obviously, green bars going north are positive traffic, blue bars going south are is negative traffic. And so you can see, other than a handful of critical moments in history, you know, those bars are pretty much green. Now, when you look at the last, call it 10 years, that gap is getting really narrow. It is a share battle out there. The growth is really starting to limit. And you can see what happened during the pandemic, the immediate shutdown, and then the recovery in the final year. The last couple of years, the last few data points on the chart kind of show that narrowing back to kind of that share battle as an industry, and that has huge implications on what you see that restaurant brands are looking at. One of the key areas that's happening for all of us, and it's in the quick service restaurant industry as well, is what is going on with digital shares. So you can see that digital percent of transactions, in high single digits pre-pandemic is more than double since then, and you can see that growth continuing. So what you'll hear a lot about today is how brands in the industry are trying to capitalize on digital ordering, delivery, loyalty, and the like. We'll hear a lot about that as the day progresses. When you think about quick serve restaurants, the reason the category exists is because of value and convenience. And value is a critical component of it. And for a long time, value was expressed in the form of the value menu. And that's changing. A lot of brands still have value menus, we do too. But that value is changing from the value menu to value that's available on your app. I know the Dairy Queen folks have a wonderful story about how they're using value in the app to drive traffic in their restaurants. So what does all this mean for quick serve restaurants? One, increased focus on delivery and the off-premise occasion. So this is our data on delivery, and you can see we are seeing massive increase in delivery transactions. So a 57% increase in dollars year to date, a 48% increase in traffic year to date, and this is merely from making our brands available on the third-party aggregators. There's a lot of discussion and debate in the industry right now about the commission rates that are being charged, caps being placed on those commission rates. We'll talk a lot about that today, but the reason for it is, in many brands, including ourselves, most of the growth we're seeing in our business in general is driven by what we're seeing from delivery and other digital transactions. So there are things that we need to do to make that occasion much better for the consumer, packaging and further technology. We'll hear more about that today. Growth on mobile ordering and app usage. So we know that the majority of consumers, especially younger consumers, prefer to order on their app as opposed to going through the drive-thru. We need to make that experience more user-friendly, easier payment options, and of course, I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about AI, how AI is giving us more information about our consumers such that we can reach them. And I know we're going to talk about AI today, but I must admit, I saw a quote on AI from the Wall Street Journal earlier this week that I had to repeat to this group because I figured everybody would love it. So this is the quote from the article, is the disappearing white-collar job. And this appeared in the Wall Street Journal on Tuesday. And it's about AI taking over a number of job functions, right? Here's the quote. Long after robots begin taking manufacturing jobs, artificial intelligence is now coming for the higher-ups, accountants, software programmers, human resource specialists, and lawyers. To which all the marketers in this room, I'm sure, can I say a collective, our jobs are safe from AI, but I don't talk about that today. So, as I mentioned, the value wars are moving from the menu to the app. We've seen about 30% growth in our loyalty business year on year as we put better and more deals into the app. And so hopefully, if you haven't done so already, you go to the App Store, download the Dairy Queen app, the Caribou Coffee app, and of course the John's app, and feel free to take advantage of all those wonderful offers. Increased use of automation. There are a couple of really interesting things going on in the industry, and things that we're working on in particular. The notion of when you pull up to the drive-through speaker and you have that interaction with the crew member, a lot of that is becoming automated. And so we're in a test right now where that interaction sounds like a human, of course, but that navigation between how you may wish to customize your order and how we may wish to make sure that you buy a medium potato Lay's and a large Diet Pepsi is all controlled via AI. And so pretty soon, that person that you talk to is not a person at all. One of the other things that we're working on, this is just a mock-up of it, but so that's our tortilla one, anytime you order a soft shell taco or burrito, that tortilla goes through the warmer. Imagine when the AI hears a soft taco or a burrito in the order, those tortillas are automatically dropped down into the tortilla warmer, freeing the crew member to just handle the assembly process. So some of the things that we're working on, I'm sure you'll hear more examples of that today. Smaller dining footprints. This is what we call our drive-through Olay. This is a drive-through only location in Wagner, South Dakota. And what you can see here is called, one can pick up digital orders in the lobby. There is no lobby for sit-down, which helps manage labor. And when the majority of our business, depending on the business, some 70 to 80% of the business is all through the drive-thru. So, especially from the pandemic, consumers kind of rediscovered the drive-thru and rediscovered getting that meal to go and eating at your destination or eating while on the go. And so, the build cost on something like this is far lower than a traditional restaurant, making it easier for us to grow and making it more profitable for our franchisees. Greater emphasis on healthy options. 43% of Americans are looking for healthy options. You'll hear about that today. This is our Boss Bowl, which is one of the healthier items on our menu. You'll hear more about that from the folks today. Scannable technologies. These are our bags and cups where you can easily scan the ability to get our app. And of course, we've seen all throughout the category restaurants using that scannable technology to replace menus. And so some restaurants have gone back to menus, some haven't. You're going to see this stick around. Sustainability, right? Reducing waste, more and more sustainable ingredients. These are plastic cups that we're going to be transitioning to that are recyclable. Our paper cups that we have in our restaurants today actually have a coating on it that make them not recyclable. We have changed that so that these are cups that we're going to be launching in our restaurants later this year. So these are the things just kind of off the top of my head that I feel like you're working on, that I believe the industry is working on, and I'm sure the food and beverage industry on a larger basis are working on some version of these things. So that might not be a bad way to kind of introduce our speakers today, and looking forward to a great day.